So this is the beginning of our sheep shack. And this is on our farm to be used for intensive grazing in the future. So we call it a sheep shack. You can call it a shed, an animal shed, a goat shed. We know that our animals need shade, and we have a lot of sun here. So we've got to build them something where they can get in it and away from the heat, and they need shade. And then we also need to have a place to put their water. So we have a big field here, and that we have some trees, but we don't have trees everywhere. So that was our main purpose, to have it here, as well as in the future, like I said, we're going to do some intensive grazing. And you can do that by using the sheep shack as your beginning point, and then putting electric fences in locations all around in a sequence, using the sheep shack as the home base. So we also have some fencing here that we are using. We call it our nursery. So the sheep shack has two halves. It has the outside half and the inside half. And the inside half will be used for the nursery side. So when we have moms who are having babies, they'll be safe and more secure inside this, so that animals can't get to them. They'll have a barn to go in to, have a baby when it's really cold. They can have them in the hay. We can have lots of hay in there, protected from the wind, from the rain, and so forth. So another thing we're going to use it for on the inside is, possibly in the future, if I'm able to have time to do it, I'm going to milk goats. You can even milk sheep, and make soap and drink, make yogurt and drink the milk and things like that, and it's really healthy. So, so that's a big purpose for this area. The other purpose for our nursery is also to put the males in there so we can keep them away from the females when we don't want them to mate. Because you want to try to plan your mating at certain times of the year. And because otherwise they'll have babies in the middle of winter, which means that they might not survive as easily if it's too cold. So we want to be able to control when we allow the mating, and also who we allow the mating with. So if you've got mamas who have sons, you want to keep those sons away from the mamas, so they don't interbreed, because you can have problems as each generation goes down if you do too much interbreeding. So that's another reason that we have this area. The area is smaller than the whole field, so it's easier to catch animals in that smaller area. So there's lots of purposes to have this sheep shack. Everybody's resources are different on every farm. So we designed it a certain way to be on one. We already had the fence here, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, 5 years. So I decided to design it so we have a half on each side of the fence. So, and we're going to have the sheep shack will be divided into two, and we'll have a door in between. So we can draw animals into the nursery or draw animals out of the nursery, or we can use both sides at the same time. So we can keep that door shut. And if we have males inside and we need the others out here eating and getting fatter and things like that, or milking their babies, they both have their private areas and they won't mix. So that's the purpose of our sheep shack. We call it a sheep shack. It's sheep and goats and whatever small animals you have.